50's the GOAT. If 50 doesn't f with you, I don't f with you. But I just don't know why yet. But he's never wrong. If he doesn't like you,
right,
there's a reason.
In about 10 days, Ross gonna throw him away.
I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross is your fault.
I'm on the edge, so don't push. I ain't straight for your head, so don't push.
Yeah, I'm out here in Miami. We're gonna do Live Tonight. It's gonna be live if it don't get canceled.
Ayo, the streets is talking, and they keeping it all the way real. This right here, this ain't just a setback. It's straight up betrayal. What was supposed to be the biggest comeback of the year for Big Meech just turned into one of the coldest backstabs we done seen in the game. Big Meech fresh out, ready to reclaim his throne, linking up with none other than the self-proclaimed boss, Rick Ross. It was all over Instagram, throwing up major posts, talking big business moves, making it seem like everything was lined up just right. February 13th, the Big Meech benefit concert? Man, that was posed to be legendary. We talking heavyweights, Lil Baby, Boss Man, DLO, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, and of course, Rosie himself. First of its kind, history in the making. But now, gone. Just like that. The comeback concert? Canceled. The $1 million deals? Vanished. Big Meech's fam struggling. And where the hell is Rick Ross? Ghost. Nowhere to be found when Meech need him the most. Y'all peep the way Ross been moving lately? That sudden shoulder injury out of nowhere? The way he been dodging any talk about Meech? Yeah. See, that's where the truth really started to unfold. While folks been caught up in the drama between 50 Cent and Big Meech, something major flipped this whole script upside down. 50, who been holding Meech down for years, just reposted some real tea straight from somebody with deep ties to both Meech and Ross. This ain't no gossip, no internet rumor. This straight from somebody who know both them dudes personally. And what they spilled. Man, it's exposing Ross on a whole different level of snake activity. Everybody talking about the concert getting canceled, but ain't nobody putting the blame where it belong, on Rick Ross. Ross made it look like he was riding for Meech, but in reality, this was a clout move, plain and simple. Think about it. What better way for Ross to stay hot than to insert himself into one of the biggest stories in hip-hop history? Industry insiders say so. Soon as Ross heard Meech was touching down, he wasted no time trying to get close. And this how he played it. He hyped Meech up with all these big dreams, a massive welcome back concert, all the top names, a way for Meech to stack some real bread after being locked down for damn near 2 decades. Meech, fresh out, just trying to rebuild his life. Meanwhile, Ross over here seeing dollar signs, seeing a golden ticket to more fame, more shine. But karma came knocking, and it backfired big time. Soon as 50 caught wind of what was really going down, he put the truth out there. And the truth? It's ugly. While folks been caught up in side dramas, Ross been moving sneaky, pulling strings behind the scenes to get the concert canceled. And then, peep the game. He turned around and blamed it on 50 Cent. But did Ross come out and clear his name? Nah, that man sat back in silence, letting everybody else take the fall. That's some real manipulative puppet master type of behavior. If that ain't a red flag, I don't know what is. And let's talk about that so-called shoulder injury again. Right when the drama start heating up, boom, Rosie out here rocking slings and wincing in pain. Real convenient, ain't it? Word on the street. Meech might have had something to do with that injury. Now, I ain't saying that's what happened, but the whispers is getting louder. Meech sitting on 15 years worth of pent-up rage, and he just find out the man he trusted done played him? Man, connect the dots. But even if Ross ain't catch them hands, what if he's just faking the whole thing? What if it's just another distraction tactic to dodge the heat? This man got a history of shady moves. Y'all remember what happened with the Larry Hoover benefit concert? Ross out here dropping names, using real street legends for clout, then disappearing when the block get hot. Now he out here pulling the same mess with Meech. While Meech struggling to put the pieces back together, what Ross doing? Pushing that boss token, running them overpriced car shows, still getting paid, while Meech out here holding empty bag. It ain't even about business moves no more. This straight up scamming. And best believe, the real one's peeping game. Folks from ATL to Miami whispering the same thing. Ross been moving foul, and it's only a matter of time before folks start exposing him for real. And let's not forget who we talking about here. This is the same Rick Ross who built his whole career on deception. Let's be real. This man ain't even Rick Ross for real. He stole the name and story of Freeway Rick Ross, a real-life kingpin locked up when Ross decided to jack his whole identity. And when the real Freeway Rick got out, he sued him. And what do we find out? That Rick Ross, the so-called boss, was really out here working for the feds as a correctional officer. But somehow, someway, he skated past all that backlash. And now, folks in the industry wondering, is Ross more than just a fraud? Is he low-key an informant? Think about it. Always stirring the pot, keeping the beef alive, throwing distractions left and right. Man, I ain't saying nothing, but the way he moved, it's looking real suspect. And Meech, he walked right into the trap. He turned his back on 50, somebody who really put in work to keep his legacy alive, built a whole show around BMF, made sure the name stayed relevant. 50 put his money where his mouth was, for real. But Meech chose Ross instead. And what happened? He got played. Moral of the story? If it looked like a snake, slither like a snake, then bruh, it's a snake. Meech ain't even have to get bit to see it coming. Now the question is, what's he gonna do next? Stay locked in, cause this saga ain't over. Not by a long shot. Let me break it down for y'all real quick, cause this right here ain't just business. It's straight up betrayal. See, for 50 Cent, this was real. It wasn't just about money or clout. My guy was out here sending bread to Meech's family, checking in on him when the whole world turned its back. Real loyalty. But guess what? Meech ain't see it that way. Now, here come Rick Ross, pulling up in his Maybachs, flexing at these fancy car shows, charging fans racks just to breathe the same air as him. Meanwhile, Meech's family struggling to keep the lights on. Man, the timing couldn't be more suspect. Word on the street, these business moves Ross got going on, boss token, these car shows, they ain't nothing but straight up scams. And the folks who put money in, they already crying about taking less. Oh, and let's talk about that shoulder injury Ross conveniently started flaunting right when the Meech drama got hot. Man went quiet as a church mouse about it. And you know what the streets are saying? They whispering that Big Meech might've had something to do with that injury. Now, I ain't saying it's true, but if you sat in a cell for 15 years and found out your so-called homie was playing you, let's just say some folks might want to handle business the old-fashioned way. But hold up, what if this whole injury thing is a damn act? A way to flip the script, make people feel sorry for him while he ducking the smoke? If you've been paying attention, this ain't Ross's first rodeo with deception. Remember the Larry Hoover benefit concert back in 22? That was supposed to be about justice and freedom. Instead, that man pulled a Houdini. He name-dropped Hoover for clout, rode that wave, and when the pressure came, he vanished, canceled shows, blamed his team, acted like he ain't know what was going on. Sound familiar? And let's not forget, Rick Ross? That ain't even his real name. Homie jacked the identity of a real kingpin, Freeway Rick Ross, while the man was locked up doing life. When Freeway Rick finally got out, he took Ross to court, tried to get his name back. And that's when the mask slipped. Turns out this so-called boss, this man was a CEO, a Fed, working in the system he claimed to be running from. Now, peep game. This man done built his whole career off a lie, and the industry just let it slide. So, when people ask if Ross could be a Fed, moving through hip-hop collecting info, setting folks up, connect the dots. And this is the man Meech decided to trust over 50? A whole walking red flag? 15 years behind bars, and you ain't developed no sense for snakes? Come on, dog, let's get real. The biggest L in this whole mess ain't just Ross finds Meech. It's what Meech threw away in the process. He had 50, a dude who actually put his money where his mouth was. 50 made BMF a brand, a hit TV series, kept Meech's name alive while everyone else forgot. He was setting Meech up for a real legacy. And what Meech do? He turned his back on him for a man who's finessed everybody he's ever worked with. Man, if it's slither like a snake, it's a damn snake. You ain't gotta get bit to know it's dangerous. And the worst part? Ross wasn't just about celebrating Meech's return. Nah, homie was playing chess. He saw an opening to hit 50 where it hurt. Think about it. 50 been cashing out on the BMF series, so Ross slides and talking about concerts, big budget films, trying to snake the BMF brand right from under him. And when 50 saw that, he went nuclear. My guy hit the gram with a picture of a rat and a caption straight from his 2010 classic, I think I'm Big Meech. A direct shot at Ross. Cause if 50 don't mess with you, that mean you foul. But here's where it gets even wilder. Rick Ross, The same dude who pulled all these snake moves? Now he trying to make peace. He out here talking about, let's put it aside. Man, please. 50 hold grudges like mortgages. Once you on that hit list, you ain't never getting off. And now, the whole industry's seeing the truth. Even Whack 100 had to say something. If 50 kept pushing the BMF brand, he could have turned that into 5 seasons, a movie. Meech coulda made 50 mil easy, but instead, he fumbled the bag. The streets was calling it from the jump. Ross was gone throw Meech away as soon as the hype died down. Now, Big Meech out here looking lost, trying to figure out what went wrong. The concert? Gone. The movie deal? Dead on arrival cause 50 ain't co-signing it. The solid support system he had? He burned it for a dude with a history of vanishing when the check clear. This ain't just a setback. This a whole disaster. And if y'all rocking with this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because we keep it all the way real over here. Now, let me know in the comments. Y'all think Meech can bounce back, or did Ross just ruin his whole comeback story? Until next time, watch what people do, not what they say.